So, those Russo brothers did it again, huh?
Ballsy, man. Ballsy.
Okay, that's fair. Well, why don't you come on in and we can chat? My assistant will get lunch. You like sushi?
No, I'm good. I just had some Skittles.
I feel like I already know the answer to this question, but how did you like The Gray Man?
Thought it was dope, bro. I thought it was a very good movie. Really, really was interested in the fact that um, Chris Evans in a Russo brothers film wasn't cast as the main star. He was co-star or the villain because I don't even think he was the co-star. I think the chick was the co-star, right?
Yeah, Chick was the
Um,
co-star.
yeah. So I mean, I, I really enjoyed the film. I think they chose a great lead. I think Ryan Gosling was a really good lead in that film. He just he was the serious, no emotion type of guy. Played that role really well. Um, being part of Sierra Six, I'm sure he's seen a lot more. I'm sorry, being part of the Sierra program, I'm sure he had observed a lot of crookedness in the industry.
I
And
kind of like how they kind of just brush over it, and it's just like you kind of jump right into it. I mean, the reason The Gray Man is good for me is real simple. It's an action movie, and it's fucking action packed. It's out what it's going to do. Like Nope. Nope was a horror movie, and it was scary sometimes.
but dude,
It was interesting, but The Gray Man was an action movie, and there was so much action, and
but
you
not
knew
just that, it had a great story, dude. It had a
uh,
great story. Everything filled in. It was
I,
well written.
I'm a, it's an action movie, but it is totally predictable. So that's like that's the thing for me. Like I totally lose points as soon as he's like, "They got my daughter." I'm like, okay, well, obviously Ryan Gosling's gonna come and get the daughter and kill
Oh
everyone on
yeah,
the way back, and
of course.
obviously
That
that's gonna happen. So
yeah.
for that, it's just kind of cliche. But I feel like they put so much work and so much effort. Like Russo might as well have been like a Michael Bay times two, because like every scene, every action scene was awesome. I love the choreography or the stunt coordination, the stunts, everything was great. I
The
found it
the
thrilling.
scene the scene where he's handcuffed to the bench and he's
Yeah,
got like every other serviceman trying to kill him.
yeah.
It's that was a very intense scene, and it carried on for a good minute,
hmm
and it
It's
was a very
action packed,
enjoyable scene.
and that's what I'm saying.
It
It's
kept
an
it kept
action.
your interest. It kept your interest, and that's what I liked about it. See, when I saw the movie in theaters, um, I missed the first 10-15 minutes of the film, so I didn't actually see him kill Sierra 4.
Right.
I missed all that.
Which is a pretty big part of it, because that kicks off the whole storyline of all of it.
In every movie, I believe the first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes are very important. If you miss the first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes of a film, you pretty much missed the damn film.
Yeah, very
That's
true.
just my opinion, but I feel like that's a very valid opinion. But
It's a pretty good one.
um, but I really enjoyed it. What I didn't understand about that scene, though, is that for Ryan Gosling's character, of course, he wouldn't question anything.
Right.
But in that scene,
You? I'm Sierra 4. I've sent you out to kill one of your own. That's probably not gonna make you walk away, is it?
I couldn't help but to wonder why he wouldn't question that because the dude did. He even
Well,
stated, I got all the answers because I'm
you
telling
get
the
you get
truth,
kind of a lore of this like Sierra project, and like how these guys are trained. These are like the elite of the elite, and they try to shut them down because they're just so elite anyway.
They're
But
trained to be ghost.
and that's the thing, is like there has to be something in the story of being part of the Sierra program where, you know, number four knew six was going to do it anyway. He had to.
Right. He had to, yeah.
And so it's like there was like a common like acceptance, because like Six ends up killing four in a really cool, quick little fight, which was awesome. It was sick in itself and its very beginning. So missing that, it's like you missed an awesome scene.
Yeah, I did. I missed that entire scene in the theater, bro.
But then you go back and see it again, but it's like they knew. Like Ford knew it's a fight to the death. That's what he said. He was like, "It doesn't matter anyway, huh? That doesn't matter to you anyway, does it?" And boom,
No.
fight gets going, which was sick. I would love to know about the other numbers. But
yeah, I mean they made a statement in the film that all the other Sierras were either dead or back in prison, and
Right.
6 and 4, 6 was deemed a hustler. He found out about the thing that Denny Carmichael was doing, and he tried to sell it to the highest bidder, which was his mistake because they found out about it and then they tried to hunt him down, and that's when they used Sierra 6. Sierra 6 was
and
just
to
too
be clear,
fucking good at what he did.
He's doing that because there's no exit plan for Sierra. So because you're in prison, the idea is you're in prison for life. So the recruitment is, well, you can either live your life outside bars and work for us indefinitely,
Yeah.
or go back rot in your cell. And of course they, like, all right, I'll go kill people and live a better, more lavish life. But there's no exit. There's no exit. So the only exit is to get fucking rich and dip the fuck out.
Right.
So I guess that's what his attempt was. And you figure out he's kind of on the right side.
Oh yeah, dude. 4 wasn't the enemy. He's, when you're introduced to him at the beginning of the film, you think he is, right? He's just a target. But then when they have that little chit chat before they, fight each other and 6 kills him, you find out that he was actually found some dirt on, Carmichael, and he was just trying to make some money in turns to probably pull out, get out of it.
And by the way, that's the big wig. That's the dude in control of all the shit going down.
So. Yeah, and this is the thing that I'm interested in, is that they kind of leave it open for a sequel, because you find out that Denny Carmichael is actually taking orders from an even more powerful person.
Right.
And at the end of the film, none of those bastards go to jail. Nothing happens to them. So it's completely left open. And then you see 6 escaping 2 weeks later after they brought him in. He basically kills everybody and gets the fuck out of there. So he's now, the woman that thought she could control him finds out she can't control him. Which was pretty fucking sick, and he's not interested in working for her. He's interested in getting that little girl Claire and getting the fuck out of Dodge. So I definitely think they left it open for a sequel, but
yeah, and that'd be cool. I'd watch it, but this cast was so stacked, and 2 of like one of the best characters in the cast got killed. Obviously, spoiler, Chris Evans loses. I mean, that's the hero cliche. Me and my cousin always joke about. We have this inside joke about a hero cliche, and
yeah,
of course, Chris Evans is gonna lose. But of course, Billy Bob Thornton. We lose Billy Bob Thornton as well, and that dude's a legendary actor.
Yeah,
so
he
it's
is.
like or when they do go into a second one, I'm curious. Like they could John Wick this shit, and I'm gonna be honest. I kind of hope they don't. It's good. It's an action movie for what it is. Now, if you want to take the lore and run with the second one and try like a Bourne Identity type shit, I wouldn't run for it myself.
No, I don't know how they would do a second film, but
and they could do
I know
it. Keep Russo on it, and I'll watch it.
Oh, for sure. If Russo's do it, then it's almost guaranteed to be gold.
He has some of like the best Marvel movies, and he's just he has a name for himself.
They have a name for themselves.
The bros.
But what I liked about this film, man, is I'm a huge Gosling fan, Chris Evans fan. But what I was interested about the most in this film was actually seeing Evans as the villain. Because every time you see Evans in a film, he's always the hero. He's always
he's Captain
lead.
America.
Yeah.
And Knives Out, he was like a low key bad guy, but not that villainous.
No, he wasn't villainous.
He's very villainous, and I say villainous because I think that's an important way to describe him. He's not just like the typical bad guy. He's
No.
a guy who works in the gray, where the like collateral doesn't matter to him, and they kind of
He
give him
works-
that excuse. But he has this villainous attitude. Like this
Yeah,
dude, this dude's
the-
cynical.
The way I see Lloyd Hansen, all right, and he's
Yeah,
very
Lloyd,
happy
by
that
the way, yeah.
he's very happy that he works in the private sector and rules don't apply to him, right?
Yeah.
So, but he's very childlike. When you look at Lloyd
Oh,
Hansen,
yeah.
man, he's very childlike. Like at the end scene when he's fighting Ryan Gosling's character, Six, he's dancing around and he's pissed because it stings, or like
Right.
I don't know if that's like just things he was
I
throwing out there, but I kind of felt
I
like his
wasn't a big
character was a
fan
little
of that.
childish.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that little fight there. And the only reason being is like I kind of wanted to see the cliche,
Yeah.
where Gosling, where like Chris Evans does have it up on Gosling,
And he did for a
For a
bit in
second,
that
yeah.
scene. I mean,
Yeah.
he got quite a few stab wounds up in there, bro, and
the
had
stabs
that
were
chick.
dope, but actually, but Ryan was getting them before that. That's why he had
Oh,
to pull out the
totally.
knife. And
Totally,
but what
totally.
he did with that knife was fucking awesome. And he said
Oh.
something that was sick. He was like, oh fuck, what'd he say? He was like, oh yeah, you'd fuck those moves, huh? Like he said something like that. And I was like,
But the
"Damn."
thing is what I really enjoyed about that scene is that if that chick hadn't showed up to kill Hansen, Gosling would have died. He would have died. He made a statement where he was like, "Do I plan to live through this?" And she was
Right.
like, "Yes, because there's blood. There's a lot of blood." He was bleeding out.
Yeah.
You can clearly see he
He's
was
also
he
a
was
man
dying.
of few words. It's one of those movies
Yeah.
where I don't know. He has nice delivery. There's nothing like that's gonna make you go, "Oh my god, Ryan Gosling was so amazing." His action was good. Like his role, he hit his marks, and like his scenes where he was being in action, like dude, he was selling that he's an action star, and I felt it. And there wasn't
dude,
like
he
too
was-
much of a build. Like John Wick, dude, you had this like story building behind who the fuck Keanu Reeves is.
Right.
And this, you're just like, he's part of the Sierra Project. That's
Yeah,
it.
he was just a prisoner.
He was in
released
the
to do it.
area when this thing went down, and he has a reputation for being a badass. He always makes it out type deal, and that's all you get, and you're just like, here, watch him go, and he nails it, dude. He's a great he did great as an action star, and I knew Chris Evans would, being Captain America. He did a lot of his own stunts. Chris Evans is like, I already knew he was going to nail the action. I didn't know if Ryan Gosling was, and I think he did. I think he did well. The only action scene I really didn't like, our opinions may differ here, was the fight on the plane with the smokes. It's like my eye, I could tell the smoke was fake. Like there's parts of it that just weren't real. And
Right.
And I personally know if you're on a plane and you light up a fucking smoke, that thing, nope. There's no like running around with it and having this little trail. It's everywhere, dude. You're not gonna see shit.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be zero visibility. It's gonna be hard to
And
breathe.
see that's what he was going for. When he lit that flare, he was going for that, but
I'm gonna blame the CGI. Well, CGI was okay, but it just didn't look like real smoke, and that killed that scene for me.
but in that scene, I knew exactly what he was going for when he lit that flare, was to smoke it out so he can fight in the smoke.
And why would he
But
run
you
with
know,
it, though? Because like you could see and hear that, so it's an audio indicator constantly working.
oh, he was using it as a weapon, bro. He
I know,
fought with that flare.
Yeah, I
but-
mean, he didn't need to though. But
No, he didn't.
it was
but-
weird. But
Yeah,
the action was still decent. But I couldn't see
the
shit.
action
'cause
was good.
The smoke was covering up just enough to where.
What
it's
I
like,
want to know though is in that scene, he flies out. The plane basically breaks apart. He
that's
flies
so
out with
weird.
no parachute,
He's unconscious.
and then he
wakes up.
he wraps the cord around the one guy's neck.
Oh, like a
then
parachute gets
pulls-
deployed in his
yeah.
face. Yeah, and then
Right.
he
And-
strangles him with the ripcord.
And then he deploys the backup parachute, which is, I'm guessing, because they cut to the next scene, which is, I'm guessing he just rode the body down, bro.
Oh, he did,
You know, like,
it was
like-
plot armor. And that's what I say. It was really good for an action movie. Now, if I really had to break it down, I'm gonna be honest. I knew you liked this movie, so I wanted to watch this movie with the intent of being like, "Fuck this movie." You know what I mean? But it was an action movie, and for what it was, like that's what I was saying. For what it was great. But as far as like there were story plots, like example stuff like that, there was a lot of goofy shit. Like, why wouldn't the chick just shoot him and them get away with the girl. Why didn't the girl get away with the little girl at the end of the maze?
Right.
What was like the girl came in and shot Lloyd. She didn't see that little thing where if she did, okay, that's goofy, but she still ran away. What, does she have a team in the maze? Like there's just small stuff like that were totally glanced over. That were just like, okay, so they just caught them somehow.
Right.
Okay, he just survived that fall somehow. But it's an action movie, dude. It's like, okay, well, I liked Cranked, but that whole movie is fucking ridiculous. You know, like it's completely impractical. There's no way you'd survive any of it. Survive falling on a plane. But like you have to give that forgiveness.
Oh yeah, dude. And I thought The Gray Man was pretty much a fucking 9 out of 10, man. I thought it was a great film. It I had some gripes about.
I give it.
I had some gripes about some
9
things,
out of 10
but
action movie. It's modern
Yeah.
John Wick. Like, remember the hype of John Wick 1? Like, this movie has the action that you would want, that John Wick offered. Like, when people got hyped for it, this is like a great, like, okay, you're trying to jump in the action movies. How the fuck are you gonna follow John Wick as someone who can jiu-jitsu roll and judo throw and shoot? John Wick did all of it, and he did it masterfully. Oh, well, here comes Ryan Gosling, and he does it pretty fucking good.
he did, bro. Ryan Gosling, like you said, he was a man of few words. He took his job extremely seriously. And as you can tell, he was really fucking good, freakishly good at his job. I really enjoyed though Lloyd Hansen, man.
I liked him every time he was on scene. I was excited, and I loved his mustache, bro. He looks like beautiful.
Dude. Bro, the fucking the trash dash with the haircut, bro.
Don't you dare call it trash dash, bro.
It looked great, bro. His character looked great.
Dude, throw some glasses on him, and I would let Chris Evans play Flanders, man.
Flanders, right?
It's
hey, Chris, you want to play Ned Flanders in The Simpsons?
Yeah.
But definitely, man. Right.
But you know what he kind of reminded me of? Like, he reminded me of like a demented Jim Carrey, because like we were talking about this before. There's a scene where like he's like running through his like castle house defense, and like he runs onto a group of like his dead homies, like 3 of his dead guys, and he's like, he's in the house, you fucking morons. He like freaks out, and then he like double taps the dead bodies, kicks the other one, and it's like, and he puts so much like frustration into that. It reminded me of like Jim Carrey when he's like, you know,
he really got into the character, man. And what I really liked about it is he was the comic relief in the movie.
He was.
When you saw Lloyd Hansen, bro,
the tense moment as well.
Yeah, but I feel like every moment that he was on screen, I was laughing. And then like Ryan Gosling character, like the scene where they're in he breaks out of the well, and he runs up the stairs, he kills all Lloyd's guys, and then Lloyd punches him in the face, and he's like, "You got that drive?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I got it right here." And he drops a grenade, and Lloyd's like, "Ooh, ballsy." Mm-hmm. But you could just see the grin on his face, bro. He was like, "I really like this challenge," like he was all for the challenge, man. And
I'm gonna go earlier in the movie when they capture Billy Bob Thornton. So like the whole driving force of the movie is they got Billy Bob Thornton, and they got Billy Bob Thornton's daughter, and they're the closest thing that Ryan Gosling's character Six has to a family, and so. Ryan Gosling fights tooth and nail to go and save the daughter, blah, blah, blah. But Billy Bob Thornton calls Six, or calls Ryan Gosling's character, and Lloyd's in the room, or in the car, and he's like, "Give me the phone,"
Yeah, he wants to talk to him.
Yeah, and Billy Bob Thornton already told him, like, "Hey, he's got my daughter, blah, blah, blah." So Six already knows this. But just how Chris Evans talks to Ryan Gosling over the phone, the only thing Ryan Gosling says is like, "I don't like you already, Lloyd."
Yeah, my favorite quote in that scene is when he's like, "You want to get sushi?" He's like, "No, I just had Skittles."
Dude, that was great. He's like, "Come on, just give up easy. Come give me the drive, and we'll go get sushi." He's like, "No, thanks. I just ate Skittles." And I was like,
It was bro.
Good.
That was a classic line, bro. Like,
it's a classic fuck you line too. Like,
it was a classic fuck you line. It was like, "No, I just had Skittles."
And that's his character. Like all through the movie, he just has these like, call him a one-liner, bro, because he just hands these
He's
like,
not like, dude, he even states, man, he doesn't like talking very much. He just wants to go do his job. And the only person you can tell that he really has a heart for is Claire,
as a little girl,
is
yeah,
the little girl.
who has like nobody, and like
She has nobody. He's the only one
yeah,
now.
and he kind of relates that, and then even he knows that her dad is not home much.
Right.
Dad's a big dangerous guy.
Well, that's
But
not even her dad. That's her uncle.
yeah,
Because
it's not even her dad.
yeah,
Right.
it's her uncle. Because her parents apparently got killed, and she was given to him, and it
Right.
was a whole big deal. But see, the thing is man, they knew Carmichael was crooked from the get go, because when they released um, Fitzroy's address, and they wouldn't give him protection, they already knew he was crooked. And then Carmichael lets them go. They no longer are allowed to work for the company no more. So they knew it was crooked. But it's like, why didn't they do anything about it then? Now you still got the same dick face running the fucking company, which is why I think it's gonna have a sequel where the gray man, Gosling, comes back and takes out Fitzroy and that chick that let him live. But if that even happens, but I'm saying, like, they left it open for that, you know what I mean? But in the film, man, they played so well together.
Oh yeah.
Like, Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans played so fucking well together.
I'm gonna say that there's a hidden gem. I actually had to look him up because I didn't know too much about him. But there's the Indian guy Dinesh,
Wolf, the lone wolf, yeah.
the lone wolf, who like Lloyd's character, Chris Evans' character, hires this like mercenary, and they call him Lone Wolf. He's out doing his own mission. And let's just say, like, when Dinesh is the name of the actor. He's by the way, a big Bollywood star. I didn't realize this. He's huge in India. So like, for him being the gray man, he's also part of the stacked roster. And I thought he did amazing. But when
he was one of the best characters in the film. And what I liked about his character is he was honorable.
Right.
He was a very honorable character,
Well, when he runs into Ryan Gosling, dude, he beats up Ryan Gosling and his partner
at the same time.
At the same time, he manhandles him. Like, if Ryan Gosling got in a one-on-one with Dinesh would have kicked his fucking ass, or Alpha, Lone Wolf. But he was a great character, and like, as soon as he heard that Lloyd's character had a little kid upstairs, he was like, "You have a little girl? This is bad." And then he was denied payment. Yeah, like, didn't pay him for the job and all that shit, and ended up having a fight with one of the what's her name? Hold on, her face is behind me.
Yeah,
Ana de Armas is the name of the actress, but that's Danny in the movie, and that's a girl who pretty much helps Ryan Gosling out through most of it, and like, she's a great fighter within herself, but dude, they both got their ass whooped.
Oh, dude, the lone wolf, man. When they introduced him, I didn't think very much of him. Didn't know who he was. He was just,
you can only
somebody
tell he was a little flashy. Like, oh, he's in a purple suit. He's gonna be a little flashy.
Well, when they introduce him on the plane, he's talking about all the other soldiers that he's going to send to kill the gray man. So you kind of look at him just like any other soldier, like, oh, he's going to be one of those guys. They're going to send after Ryan Gosling, and he's going to get killed. But when you actually see him, the scene they introduce him in with Ryan Gosling's completely caught off guard and gets a knife through his hand.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, what I really like about Gosling's character, though, is that every time he gets stabbed or hurt, he grunts. He doesn't.
I absolutely love that too.
He just grunts like,
and
like, you motherfucker,
And that's what the comedy is. Like, he gets a knife through the hand, and it's, but
yeah,
it's the same thing. Like, he drops a mag somewhere, and it's always something. Even when Billy Bob Thornton gets shot, he just goes, like he's a grunter. Aggravated. He needs to grunt it out, and then he's past it.
Yeah, but Dinesh, man, that character, the scene where he goes and he fights the girl, Ryan Gosling's co-star.
Oh yeah, that's sick. Yeah.
She fights him for a little bit, and something told me, man, that he kind of gave up on that fight, because
Well, he didn't want to hurt her because he knew they were the good people. He just found
Right.
out that the guy he's working for is Lloyd, who's a cunt. Lloyd's
Right,
a fucking cunt.
But what I'm saying is, in that scene, he was going hard for her, bro. He was trying to kill her.
Well, he's
and
fighting
then
for his
when
life too. You gotta think she's coming to fucking kill him. You know,
and then
he fucked
right,
him and
but when
Ryan
he
up in the hospital, bro, they coming.
but when she got him with the cord around his neck, bro, and then wrapped him again, and he grabbed the nearest knife. And he grabbed the nearest knife, dude. She would have had him. She was gonna kill him.
No.
But he cut the cord.
He got up and slammed her into the table too. He was choking her out, and then he cut
Right,
the
and
cord.
that's what I'm saying. She got the second cord around him. He was done. Then he grabbed the knife from the nearest dead body and he cut the cord. That's when he got up and he was like, "I'm done. These aren't honorable people." And that's it. In that scene right there, dude, I felt like he gave up.
I'll watch a movie about Dinesh.
Yeah,
Like
in that scene, I felt like he gave up. But it's that scene where you find out.
Well, he was
he's
standing
honorable,
over her, bro. Like she was laying on the ground and he was over
He-
top.
Yeah, he could have killed her.
Right.
But it could have gone both ways. In that scene, like she
Well, that
had
just-
him,
that
he
just
had
shows
her.
How strong she was.
Right.
And the fact
Dude,
that she's that strong and Ryan Gosling's that fucking strong, and he took both of them. But
The scene where she's running through, bro, you're shooting the grenade launcher
that was sick.
for a chick, bro. All I could think in that scene is, dude, that's a badass chick, bro.
She's just
like-
YouTube and she's serpentine. Dunk.
Yeah,
And it's,
yeah, dude.
it
She
was
did
sick.
such a good job, and I just really appreciated that for the Lone Wolf's character, that they at least had one honorable individual in the film who still fought for honor. That's not something you see a lot anymore when you watch an action film or anything, man. But
Well, actually, like that's Gosling's character. The whole incident with Four, he could have killed Four without ever even having to see him. He was going to shoot him through 2 floors, which would have been sick. He had like a thermal gun. He could like see through the floor, and but the only reason
Right.
he didn't shoot was because there was a kid.
mhm.
And he was getting these sketchy vibes anyway. But then this kid, and they're like, shoot anyway, collateral's approved. And he was like, nah, I'm going to move. And he tried
no,
to shoot
no,
another spot.
he said the gun was jammed.
Oh, no,
He-
that was his excuse, but that's not
yeah.
what
He
actually happened.
flat out,
He moved to get a different
Right.
shot. And then the kid was like sitting next to him. So he was like, or standing with him. So he's
yeah, the
like,
kid
"All right."
wouldn't move, so the gun jammed, quote
gun,
unquote.
gun jammed. So
Yeah.
he went and handled it with his hands, which was sick within itself. That was
Dude, the way he just rolled up behind him, bro, and took him out one by one, and
That was
and
really
Ford
cool.
Ford didn't even know it.
no
You
idea.
know, like that was pretty dope.
Well, he found out a little late.
Yeah, he found that a little late, but what I want to know, man, is that Ford knew of 6. 6 didn't know of 4, though.
Well,
See what I'm
I'm sure 6 has to know there is a 4.
Or
you know?
was a 4,
Or
but
was
but
a
the
4, right.
but the way he looked, he was like he thought he
Well,
was.
maybe
the
he
one
hasn't
only-
even ran into another one, because that's the way it looked like. It looked like Ryan
Yeah.
Gosling was like that. Meeting Ford was like, oh shit, I met another. Wow, you know. But
Yeah.
he's the one who breaks it to Ryan Gosling, like, hey, dude, we were brought in the same way. They got me out of prison, blah blah blah. Like he gave him those quick details to prove to Gosling that he wasn't bullshitting.
Yep.
So
And-
it's like
and only
Ford
he
knew
would
of
know-
6, but 6 didn't know of 4 really. Yeah.
And only he would know Fitzroy's name. You know.
Fitz, yeah. Fitz is Billy
Which
Bob
is-
Thornton's character. Yeah.
Yeah. And when Ford mentioned Fitzroy's name, that's when Gosling kind of took that interest. He was like, because Fitzroy was like a father figure to him. He was really close to 6. And that's when he took him a little bit more serious. And he was like, fuck it, I'll take this necklace, you know?
Right.
And then he got more into it. And basically, man, he made a life-changing decision where he was like, you know what? I'm going to fucking take down the CIA. You know, he
I mean,
was just...
did he have much of a choice? I mean, it was like either he throws away his morals entirely.
He
Or-
didn't have a choice, bro, because he already knew
Well,
if he didn't give them that drive, they were going to kill him anyway.
well, and even before he got the drive, he was kind of throwing a fuck you. They were like, "Hey, shoot a kid," and he's like, "I have morals." Like he didn't say
Yeah.
that. You know, he knew how to dance around the jargon,
Right.
to not get in trouble for not shooting the kid. So even that showed like, you know, hyper intelligence on his part.
Yeah,
It
he
showed
didn't
had
kill.
heart
He didn't kill kids, and Danush didn't kill women in general. You know, like,
Oh yeah,
and,
women or kids. Yeah.
yeah, women or kids, and you know, man, that just shows honor. You know, like, why would you kill an innocent? That's a true innocent. You know what I
Well,
mean?
and they honor those characters with power too. Like Ryan Gosling's character is, by the end of the movie, basically is established as like the fucking Oogie Boogie man. You know, because what he does is insane. But
Well,
what?
they tell him he's freakishly good at his job, man.
Right.
You know, he's the best there is at what he
Yeah.
does. Like Wolverine, you're
Yeah,
the
he's
best
out there.
at it.
But the only one who can probably compare is probably
So,
Dinesh, and they're two good characters. And that's the thing with like the end fight. I kind of wish, I don't know, Chris Evans didn't have a big burn in his back. You know, yeah, he got flipped in the water and it burned. Like you said, you know, it was
he
like,
lost two
it
fingers.
stings." Yeah, he lost 2 fingers, punched him, and hurt his hand. Yeah, it's like, well, would he have won if he had his 2 fingers? You know, like there's so many.
It wasn't a fair fight. It wasn't a fair.
It didn't
In my
feel right.
opinion, it wasn't really a fair fight because Gosling, bro, wasn't wounded at all.
No, he was totally fine. Just another
Like,
Thursday chilling.
yeah. So I mean, of course, he had like a little knife wound in his side from Danush, but like he said, he missed all vital organs. Fucking amateur, you know. Maybe Danush wasn't trying to kill him because with that experience, he definitely could have, you know. But that's another question. But it definitely wasn't a fair fight. But
Yeah.
Gosling didn't give 2 fucks. You took it. You took his pride and joy. You know that little girl.
Another thing is like Gosling's character, I guess, is so smooth and methodical. He didn't even have like a mark on his face. Like in the end fight scene, you know, like he's not really scuffed up bad. He gets fucked
all
up
his
with
wounds
the fight
are
with Lloyd.
yeah.
Like,
All his wounds are body wounds. You know.
But Lloyd fucks him up the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool fight. But fight was awesome.
2 best fight scenes were, in my opinion, were Lloyd Hansen and Ryan Gosling, and Danush and Ryan Gosling and the chick. I think those were the
Dinesh
pretty.
separately with the chick. Like those were really good scenes.
What was funny, dude, is that Lloyd Hansen, dude, wasn't a very specific character in the entire film. He's always demanding things. You know, throw me the gun. So he unloads the gun and throws it to him. I meant with the bullets. You know, it's like nobody throws a loaded gun, Lloyd. You know.
Oh, which is like a reoccurring joke, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like the girl, when Dinesh is getting away with the hard drive, Dinesh comes in and manhandles everybody, just yoinks the hard drive from Gosling because he's a beast apparently, and the chick was had elevation on him, and she's talking to Six, she's like, throw me the gun because she can get a better angle down, you know, for the distance, and he throws her the gun and she dips, she just gets the gun and takes off, and then you know he takes off trying to catch up too. And then she gets off in front of him, and she's about to blast Dinesh off the bike, like point blank, about to be sick. Like I would have been like freaking out if that's how they killed him. Like, damn.
Yeah.
But he didn't give her the bullet. She took off too soon. He didn't give her the shell. She's like, you give me an empty gun? He's like, you never throw a gun with a bullet. You never throw a
loaded gun.
Yeah.
That was just like one of his mottos, you know, like, I'm not giving you a loaded gun, like. And he intentionally he went to throw her the shells and she was gone. You know, like he had every intention on giving her the bullets, but she just took off.
He's like, oh.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. I watched that film honestly 3 times.
That's why I don't mean to be like an asshole to specify this over and over and over again. It was a great action movie. You know, it's like you got what you wanted out of an action movie. Like I said, there's so many little parts that we could harp on, like example, jumping out the fucking plane, and there's stuff you can go over and be like, well, that's just ridiculous. Like the guy, like him being handcuffed to a bench, and Chris Evans saving that scene, making it awesome. Like, really? No one can kill a guy who's handcuffed to a fucking bench? You know, like how hard is it to shoot a guy on a bench? And like his character just made that scene even better. But it's like one of those impossible moments where you're just like, oh, okay. Like the alpha kill team wasn't like they could have all just killed him. They just started shooting cops.
Yeah,
like, it made no sense. Like, kill that guy on the bench, get out. They didn't do that. So like that scene was like, that's kind of stupid. Why would they even do it? Why to pull up, knowing a guy's on a bench, to shoot him and leave? Why take on all the cops? You know, like Alpha, Beta, and C Squad all took on the fucking cops. They all died.
Yeah, right.
They all died. And then the only dude who didn't take on the cops, Dinesh. Fucking genius. It's
Yeah.
why engage? But like that scene doesn't make sense, but it's there for the
What
movie.
doesn't make sense about that scene to me is why didn't why was Gosling so hard to kill? In that,
Well,
dude, he
that's
was
that's
literally
for the
a
movie.
target.
And
You know, like
that's my complaint with it. You got to take it for what it is, an action movie. As soon as the movie starts, and as soon as you figure out that there's a little girl being held in a big bad castle, then the knight has to come in and save the trapped girl. That's what it is. Now in this form, it's
oh,
a guy
definitely.
and a little girl that he finds as family. Like that's how they talk about it in the movie. Is like Billy Bob Thornton, Fitz is his name, and Six, Ryan Gosling's character, and the little girl are family, the closest
Fair.
they have to family. So
Yeah.
even when he's handcuffed to a fucking bench, when he jumps out of a fucking airplane with no parachute, well, he's gotta finish the movie. How it's gonna go. So
Yeah.
it's the plot armor aspect of it. So like, yeah, dude, I could shred this thing on story standpoint, but I think the Russo brothers knew this. I think everyone else knew this when they clicked this movie to watch. It's an action movie, and this one it skips the bullshit. It doesn't harp on a big story. It gives you the action. And it gives you a lot of it, and it's a lot of good action.
But I think the character development was really good. You got to know the characters.
You understood every incentive. They didn't convolute the story very much. Look, they got a guy who's he's Lloyd, he's a gray man. Fucking doesn't matter. This dude works out of range, and he's absolutely psychopathic. He will kill. He has no problem killing kids, women, whatever. Doesn't matter. Do whatever he has to. And
he worked.
Ryan Gosling.
Lloyd was with the private sector because he couldn't get into the CIA.
Because
How long did you last in the CIA? 2 weeks?
6 months or something?
Yeah, something. It's like and then they moved him to the private sector, and the Gray Men were the reason why they were called the Gray Men is because they were part of the Sierra program, which existed from the director that was before Denny Carmichael, who initiated the program to help inmates get out of prison, work for the CIA, which I thought was really, really interesting. If that's something they do in real life, I mean, more power to them. But
that'd be a bad idea.
But when you look at somebody like Ryan Gosling, bro, whose little brother got abused, and he was putting an end to the threat. His father was the threat. If you're going to kill my brother, then you're going to kill me. So he killed his father. There's in my mind, I don't look at that like a heinous crime. He didn't want to kill his dad. He was saving his little brother. And in the movie, he even states, I thought I did the right thing, but everybody else thought I should have been in jail for it. And so he got sent to jail for something like that. But
yeah, all of that's kind of like that's not something that it's like a huge story point. Like they just gloss over and talk about it. And
Yeah.
That's what I think is good in an action movie. We don't need an origin story for these guys. We don't. You get flashes, you get glimpses, and you get just enough to know what you're dealing with and know the character you're watching. So I think they did really good for making an action movie action packed and having a decent enough story to follow along.
the action, bro, was unreal.
I think that's why the movie Taken was so good. So his daughter,
Yeah, because the action, yeah.
You just from get go, you understand the incentive. A dad's going to get his daughter. That's all you needed. You needed no other story.
And as a father, man, that's kind of how you would be. I mean, it's you love your kid, bro.
If you had the skills, you would go. And
totally. If you had that skill set, you wouldn't think twice about it.
They totally. I hate to say it. It's like that whole idea is ripped and thrown into this movie. Now they complicate it. They throw in more characters. They throw in a better cast instead of just Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
And you have this specifically villainous Chris Evans, who's pretty much captivates on camera. But I think Chris Evans was the best part of the movie. Ryan Gosling killed the role. I don't think this is not an Oscar thing. He's just a straight-faced killer, and he's cool. I like him.
He plays the role great, but I think that Lloyd Hansen's character was more electric in the movie. when you saw him on screen, he wasn't just
He was the best
kicking
part
it.
of the movie for me.
Dude, he was the comic relief. Everything
Well,
he
was the
had
comic
he
relief
had
as
more
well
of the
as-
dialogue.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, he had more dialogue than Gosling for sure. Gosling was that quiet, straight to the point individual, where Evans was more like,
Flamboyant out there, like didn't care, let you know
yeah,
how he felt.
yeah,
Like my favorite scene with him was when he gets tranquilized by Anna de Armas's character, and he's walking back to his base and he got a limp, and Suzanne is the girl who inevitably kills Lloyd's character.
yeah. She's sent by Carmichael to basically babysit Lloyd Hansen.
Yeah, and Lloyd's so crazy she can't do shit with it.
Yeah, she can't. She
But,
can't do nothing.
So she's supposed to be babysitting this dude, and he's walking around limping, and she's like, "What's wrong with your leg?" And he's like, "I got shot in the ass, Suzanne." You know,
Dude, like
it's so,
his dialogue was just fucking hilarious. You know,
It's-
it's like, and then another part of that scene is when Suzanne's like, Evans is he says he's got help, and Suzanne, how do you know that? Well, I didn't shoot myself in the ass. You know, it's like,
yeah.
he's like, I didn't trank myself. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, it was like the only moment in the movie where he was actually the smart ass. Because every
Right.
time he went against Gosling, he was the dumbass, you know, like,
Right.
give me
he
the
made-
gun, you know,
yeah.
I meant with bullets, you know, it's like, there's just, those two men, in my opinion, they played well together. I really enjoyed them on screen together. I really liked Evans's character because he was more or less like, you know, I'm working this job where I know I'm probably going to die. And if I'm going to die, then, you know, this is how I want to die. So he just had that personality. Like, he was crazy, egotistical. He was, he even
Truly
states
insane.
it, you know. He thinks he is better than everybody else. And
Oh yeah, he complete narcissist, sociopath, all of the above, dude. He hits them all, and
Yeah.
and he hits them well, and that's why I was gonna say like a Gray Man 2. I don't know if I'd be as interested in, just because the Lloyd character who died was the best
Oh,
character.
and like I said, man, that was the whole purpose of me seeing this film, was to see Chris Evans in the film. I I, I love Gosling. Um,
I would almost been interested if the roles were switched a little, but I'd watch that movie too. Ryan Gosling chasing Chris Evans. I think they both
Yeah.
could. Well, I don't even know about that. I think Chris Evans is the only one who could play Lloyd.
totally.
And it absolutely
Totally.
killed it. Dude, I loved how he dressed. I love how like mid fight, like Lloyd has to take off his loafers to get the rocks out of him. He's like mid fight with Gosling. This is like the ending fight scene. And this dude's like
Yeah.
punch, 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 and he like sits down on the bench, like takes off his fucking slipper, like he's fighting in his slipper. You know,
Yeah.
like, that's this dude. He's such a dick.
He
Cares
was
so
just
much
so
vanity,
comfortable.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
he
comfortable.
just
Not completely ill prepared to fight someone like Gosling, but
That's why he
except with
brought the
that
knife.
bro. That knife was sick. That dude knows how to use
Yeah.
a knife. He
definitely knew how to use the knife.
I'm
And he badly wounded Ryan Gosling too. If it wasn't for
fatally,
Suzanne,
would have fatally killed him. Yeah,
yeah, if it wasn't for Suzanne saving the day, then Gosling's character totally would have died. He would have bled out.
theoretically saving the day. She just tried to
Yeah.
trap the untrappable, and that's what that means. You can't trap these guys. They're too crazy.
No.
Can't put them
And
on
that's and that's what ends up ultimately leaving it to a sequel, in my opinion, is that she tries to blackmail him and threatening him with prison and you know, all this
they
shit.
end up
And,
abducting the girl. It's just like another villain in the movie after the main villain
Yeah.
dies. Which was just, it's cool because like by that point in the movie, you know how crazy Gosling is, and it's like I mean, he rested for 2 days. They're like, we think he's like catatonic. We don't know if he's like in a psycho state. 'Cause he just lays in bed and doesn't say anything. They get out the elevator, everyone's dead, and you're just like, oh yeah.
But yeah, he was
We
he was
already know.
planning his escape
Yeah.
the entire time.
Yeah,
You know,
and it was
but
sick. I'm
I,
not gonna lie
I,
though. If I had to rewatch, if someone's like, "Hey, dude, you got to watch this movie again right now," I probably would.
yeah,
Same day. By the way, guys, I watched this movie today, and
yeah,
I would rewatch the action. It's because it's one of those movies I could throw on in the background, and anytime you look at the screen, you're like, nice. It's like one of those. What was that movie with the dude who gets his fingers cut off and he's like shoots somebody with a carrot at the end?
or shoot him up.
Shoot him up.
hmm
Oh,
that's Clive Owen.
that's one of those movies where you can just throw it in the background, and anytime you look up, you're like, what the fuck? So this is one of those movies. Put it on you already seen it, throw it on in the living room. Anyone who comes in and hasn't seen it might sit down and just end up finishing the movie themselves.
Yeah, it's definitely a shit list movie for sure. It's definitely
surprising.
on that list.
I'm not like a huge dude, Netflix, but I mean they just got the right people, dude. They got the Russo brothers, they got Chris Evans, they got Ryan Gosling, Billy Bob Thornton,
Yeah,
and apparently Danush. I think that was a really good idea to reach out to Bollywood. India has a huge film industry, and some of those movies are absolutely wild and crazy. But there's some Indian movies that are like very good, like an Indian horror movie. Those things get crazy. But I like that they have this Bollywood character. I like all these new people. I like Billy Bob Thornton looked great. I don't know, all around good movie. Good movie. I know this isn't like one of my like greatest all times. It's just it's an action movie, and it absolutely kills everything that you would want for an action movie. So it just checks all the boxes. Like that's what I was saying with Nope. It was checking all the boxes, and then it was like it just kind of fell. And
they kind of went into a different direction than what we would have liked. It wasn't
and that's
wasn't
just
a
because
bad
of the
film.
genre. So like I'm not scared of monster movies. When there's like a singular monster, that's not scary to me at all. So like it's just an example of how I got that mindset. So when I'm coming to watch an action movie, I'm expecting fighting, fist fights, kicks, punches, shooting, explosions, car chases. Yeah, this did all of it. This had plane fights with smoke. It didn't like the smoke very much, but it had falling from the sky. It had everything you would want in an action movie, and all executed in a way that wasn't felt like it's just wish-washed. But it is that, dude. Don't come in this movie looking for like a intricate story. It's not there. It's the basic story of you took my family, and I will stop at nothing until I get them back.
Right.
And that's what action movies are. Like,
Yeah, it's got a standard plot, guys. I mean, it's it's a standard plot. I did
really
enjoy
good at what it's made for.
Right. I did enjoy the story, but like my cousin saying, it's got your standard action movie plot. It's
100%. Like we've all
girl
seen
gets
this
taken, hero gets girl back. It's
the kid gets
whether
taken, hero gets kid. It's the same. It's this cliche action movie, but that's
right.
That's the thing though, is they execute these things well. I've never seen a villain like Chris Evans. They
No,
really
man,
amplify
and
his character. They don't do that much. They usually focus on, like, it would be Gosling all movie. You just get like hints of Chris Evans,
right.
Um,
But they focused on both of them pretty evenly, in my opinion. I'm not sure if one got more screen time than the other. I do believe
I'm
that
sure Gosling got more, of course. I'm sure.
I do believe that Evans had way more dialogue than Gosling, but he but dude, the movie's good. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Even if you're not an Evans fan,
if you got Netflix, check it out. It's definitely one of those throw on and watch. Especially, this is a great dad movie. Like, to sit down and like just throw in the action. My stepdad is one of those like, what movie you watching? He's like, oh, The Gray Man. Have you seen it? It's so good. Like, I could already see him saying it, because it's just like, it's a dad movie. You sit down, throw it on, you're just like, all right, hit a beer and watch it explode, because it does it really well. But
so guys, man, I'm Charlie Shit. This is Matt Shit. This is a shit show. Please like the videos. That really helps us out a lot. Subscribe. Get us out there, man. Appreciate
comment
it.
movies. We don't necessarily have to do brand new movies all the time. We do plan on doing relevant movies, of course, But I mean, we do want tips or ideas like
Yeah, if you guys want us to go back in the 80s, the 70s, the 50s, there's a film back then, you know, I mean, let us know.
I'll review it.
And
I don't give a
yeah,
shit.
for sure. And we're movie goers, man. It's what we like to talk about.
I
And
actually have a
so
crazy movie we should review. We may not ever do this, but if we did, there's actually a movie that was made in like the 1920s that involved like them telling the story of like Jesus and Moses and stuff, and they had to flood a city.
are you talking about the Ten Commandments?
Something like it's not quite that. It's like a more of like a Jesus smite movie, where
Mm.
like the gods are smiting thee. It might not even be Jesus, could be like Poseidon. But all I know is like 15 extras were drowned. Like these scenes,
Oh,
and
yeah.
when you watch the movie, these people that you see like getting flooded and running for their life, they're legitimately running for their life. It's not acting. They actually like flooded these people, like, and it's nuts. But I could only
Yeah.
imagine like watching that movie and being like,
Holy shit.
they're
So these
drowning all-
people actually died in the film?
Yeah, it was like 15. Like they killed a bunch. Like they were the original. You'll never get the original footage because the original footage is probably in like the what's that, like the video archives.
Yeah.
But they did edit the film because the original film actually had clips of real people drowning, and like that was their final moments. So like you can actually see these people go under and then they're dead. Like you don't even. But it was all on fucking camera, like multiple deaths. They basically just drowned a bunch of extras. Like,
Yeah.
but the movie still got made. But I gotta find out the name of the movie. It's a black and white movie, but still, it's one of those like it's a legendary piece of film. When you watch it, and you're like, dude, this movie literally cost lives.
Yeah, dude, and film
Yes.
is art to me, man. When you watch a movie, you're
Not worth
watching
killing people
somebody's
over,
art.
but I'm
No,
not.
no, I'm not saying that was a good idea, or if you,
No.
hopefully I hope that wasn't intentional.
But it'll never happen. You'll never see like a mass casualty like that on a film set.
No,
and there hasn't been one that size since. I'm sure of.
no, I mean, you know, Alec Baldwin shot somebody recently on film set.
Now people die on film sets all the time.
You know, like
Dude, this is
I-
going to be the bonus.
I'm not sure if they're still trying to prove he did that or whatnot, you know, or what the situation is with that.
Nah,
But
he's fine. He's fucking rich. He's fine.
that shit happens, you know, like
Oh yeah, dude.
fuck.
Like the Crow. That was terrible.
Oh, horrible.
What was that movie?
Brandon
with the
Lee.
helicopter? There was a helicopter crash where like the scene is like a guy and two kids running through some water, and the helicopter's supposed to crash behind them, while the helicopter actually lost control. So the controlled crash wasn't controlled anymore. So the propellers, when they hit the water, it turned into shrapnel, and it cut him in half, cut him in pieces.
Oh man.
So the two
Gnarly.
child actors and the guy died on set, which is crazy. There's actually an action movie back in like 2007 where like a bike stunt coordinator, or it was like a girl who rides a bike professionally. She like hit like a speed bump at like 10 miles an hour and landed funky on her neck, dead. Like, so people die making movies all the time.
Oh yeah, I can imagine, bro. Especially people wanting to do their own stunts, or even the stunt doubles themselves.
And that's what it
You
was.
know?
Is like an actress didn't die. That's why it wasn't big news. It was a stunt, a stunt driver who died, and I think she hit like I think she was going like 10 miles an hour and hit like a curb and like flew through a window and died. It's not funny,
Damn.
but I mean, like 10
It
miles an
happened,
hour.
yeah.
I can run 7. I think, if I fall, if I fall enough, could I die like that? Like, it's crazy.
Right. Interesting.
Dude, Heath Ledger, not necessarily like a while shooting death, but pretty much.
He got so into the character, man, that it
It killed
killed him. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, dude, it's Hollywood's.
I mean, with Heath Ledger, man, I'm sure opinions will differ. In my opinion, I think he got so deep into that character. They know he got drugs from one of the Olsen twins and
that kid,
ultimately passed away. And
God damn it.
so, but he made a statement, during the initiation of that film, that he was getting into character by locking himself in a room for X amount of days. get
That's
into character. So
that's
um,
crazy.
it's some
Yeah, yeah.
some of these guys, man. As a method actor, the way they act is they have to experience things to act it out. And for a character actor, it's as simple as reading it and acting it. It's that's the difference in actors. And it's some, in my opinion, I like Johnny Depp would be your definition of a character actor, right? You can hand that guy a role and he's going to act that role and you're going to like it. And then you have characters like actors like Keanu Reeves, who are more method actors. They have to get into the role by experience what they need to
Yeah.
experience for that role. So, like for John Wick, he's going to train with multiple weapons. He's going to get into this character.
Keanu Reeves is, yeah, he
Yeah,
has that. And one who
so
shouldn't, Jared Leto. That dude needs to fucking roll in the
bro,
ditch. He's like
um,
it's like a non-real. It's like if someone pretended to be a method actor, it would be Jared Leto. You know what I mean?
yes, Jared Leto is a method actor, bro. But in my opinion, dude, yes, in my opinion, he's a horrible
The
actor. I
Joker
mean,
isn't sending gag gifts to cast members.
he
Like,
doesn't pick memorable roles though. It's like when you
I
see
don't think he
Jared
could be
Leto in
picked
a
for a
role,
memorable role because he's just
no, but he's made like, dude, he starred as Morbius. Seriously, man, I think they could have got a better actor to play Morbius. And
he.
I think the movie would have done a lot better, honestly, dude, because
I actually
guys,
I want to
and
disagree because I just think picking a character like Morbius is dumb. Like if you look at the
right.
comics, Morbius, he's not like a fucking vampire. He's a
No,
bat.
he's a bat, but
He's a legitimate
and he's
bat.
not, but
He's
he's
not a
not a very
cool looking
popular,
character.
and he's not a very popular character, right?
Yeah,
But
understandably.
my thing is that when you make a movie, all right, and this is my opinion, but when films are being made, a lot of those audiences that you're attracting, they go based off of the actor, they want to see certain people in certain roles. So when you pick an actor like Jared Leto to play a role like Morbius,
Yeah.
so for a comic book fan to see Morbius there and they were a fan of that character or Spider-Man series,
No
whatever,
one was.
and they see it and they're going to be like, great, because
Morbius, he's a
Morbius is
bat.
going to be right. But what I'm
He's not a
saying
cool.
is that
Sorry.
no, but what I'm saying
I
is
get
that
you.
you're going to have people that are going to look at Morbius and know, okay, well, this isn't his only film, right? He's going to be in other films in Phase 5 or maybe Phase 6, right?
I hope
But
he gets killed, and I hope Benedict Cumberbatch just kills him, like within seconds. Fucking bat.
dude, I'm not a fan of Morbius at all, and I'm
It's
not
a
a fan of Jared Leto at all. But my point is that when you're picking a person to play a lead role, whether it's Morbius or not, there are fans out there who love that character, Morbius, right?
yeah,
But they may not be fans of Jared Leto. They might think he's a shit actor, which that's my opinion.
dude.
He's a shitty
Look,
actor.
I'll give Jared Leto one thing. He had a great
He's a great
band.
musician.
He had
He's
a
a great
great band,
musician,
dude.
dude.
Yeah,
Dude, he's a
wonderful
great
singing
musician.
voice. Dude, you were amazing. You were amazing,
Yeah.
and like you had such a wild writing style. It's like a.
Dude,
He was
30
great.
Seconds to Mars, man, is a great band in my opinion.
I'll attack.
But
Yeah.
I've listened to that band walking down New Orleans midnight, the streets of New Orleans at midnight listening to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed his music. But him as an actor, no. And honestly, man,
I
after
originally was a fan of him as an actor simply because of his music. Like it was like one of those things where it's like I just want to root for you because you sound great. Like I'm a fan of your work. I want to see you succeed. But it's almost like that's the worst thing that could have happened because the
yeah.
music gave him a crowd, and that crowd went straight to his fucking head. And then he became an
Hmm.
actor, and his acting career picked up. because of his music was so well. It was so popular
Yeah.
that people were like, "Oh, well, dude, he's obviously gonna do well because he just has this many fans."
Yeah, he's talented. That's what it is. He's a talented guy, no doubt. But
So he got a
like
taste of stardom, and now he thinks he's fucking the hottest shit. And it's
yeah, and
Uh,
I just don't.
hard for a grown man in his 30s to be like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, I like you,
right.
Jared Leto."
But when
Your shitty fucking
when you read articles on like this, like the Suicide Squad, I mean not the the Suicide Squad. When he played the Joker, apparently one of his method actors was sending bullets and other, amongst other things, to his co-stars, and they didn't really appreciate that. And then
Hey, you should have sent
is
little bottles of Xanaxes or something because you look like
yeah,
a fucking idiot.
like
Hey, the,
I don't
let
know
me,
where they went with that, but totally off subject. But fuck.
oh, dude, no, this is cool. I was actually gonna say, perfect moment to do so. Let's go ahead and just. I'm still recording. Let's go ahead and make an introduction for that outro. You know what? Just sit there and look pretty, bro. I got you. So, thank you guys for watching the video this far. We've completely finished talking about the Gray Man and all of its glory in action, and now we completely talk about talking shit about Jared Leto and how much he sucks. So thank you for staying this long, and if you stayed this long,
Like and subscribe. I mean,
well, if you
guys,
don't at
we're
this point, like, come on, man, like, what the fuck?
right. I mean, we're dedicated, guys. This is video
All right,
5.
this is
So
a long pause sequence. Now they can get to us talking shit about Jared Leto. Wait, can we do like a high five? Can you like high five this? Nice.
go.